You are something else.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Norfolk County Commissioners meeting of Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. We are both in person and remote, and our chairman is Joe Shea is remote. He is still our chairman, but I'm running the meeting today because he was unable to make it into the office. So in the executive order on remote participation on Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act making appropriations for fiscal year 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through March 31st, 2025. We'll do the roll call vote. Commissioner Stady?
I am present, sir.
Chairman Shea?
Present.
And I am present, so we do have a quorum. At this time, I'd ask you to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, the next item was 3 executive session. We have no executive session today. And the next item is minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. So, one thing, Chairman Shea, is it all right if we have votes? Can we stamp your signature?
Yeah, you
on
can use
paper?
my stamp. Absolutely.
Terrific, okay. Commissioner Stady on the minutes?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of the meeting minutes of open session May 8th as presented.
A motion has been made. Joe,
I
second?
second it.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Okay, next item.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of the meeting minutes of open session May 22 as presented.
That's the motion. Joe, second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I had sent Bill Buckley a very minor adjustment on the executive session.
I heard of the adjustment. That was fine by me. Do you want to make a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
That's fine. Yep.
Okay.
It was very minor. So I'll move the approval of the executive session of May 20 as amended for approval.
Motion's been made. Joe?
I'll second it as amended.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous.
Okay.
Okay, next item 5, appointments. We have none. Item 6, public comment. We ask that those who are participating via the internet, please feel free to make their public comment. And we do ask that individuals making comment limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Does anyone on Zoom wish to make any comments? Okay, County Director, has anyone asked permission to make any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on. Item 7, old business. Do we have any old business?
No.
Okay, number 8, personnel matters for consideration. Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir. I'd like to move the following first in the treasurer's office. Move approval of the notice of contingent employment for Gavin Toland of Quincy as an intern at the rate stated and the effective date of tomorrow, 5/30/24. So moved.
Okay, motions are made. Joe, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous.
We have
Next
2
item.
at the Yankee School, sir. First one, I'll move notice of resignation for Scott Schofield of Uxbridge, Mass. as the animal science foreperson. That for the rate stated, his effective date would be 6/6/24. So moved.
Okay, motions are made. Joe?
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And the other one, we have notice
It is
of.
effective. It is a vote. Okay,
Yeah,
next
all
one.
set. The other one, I'll move approval of the notice of contingent employment of Brian Poland of East Walpole, and that's as a student worker. Effective date 7/1/24. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 It is unanimous. Okay, with the years of service, we're going to go over the first one. Richard, we're going to move to the second one, if that's okay. If you want me to say it, or you could say it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
want to acknowledge
Yes.
for years of service, Thomas E. Cosato Jr. At the school, and he's gonna, I guess this year is 20 years for him.
It is great. It's
Amazing.
20 years. So we will honor him with a certificate. The first individual, there was an issue with regard to the date, so that might come up next week.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, good.
All
Thank
right.
you for explaining it.
So
Thank
next
you.
one, payroll and expense warrants for approval.
All right, be glad
Commissioner
to move
Stady.
those if you
Yes,
want. All right, we have 5 altogether. First one, I move approval for the warrant list of 5/29/24, warrant number 24-47, payroll of the county, moving amount of $147,827.57. So moved.
I'll second it.
Um,
Did I say it right?
no,
147,827.57.
It's last week's.
yeah, I'm looking at last week. Okay, all right, great.
Okay. right.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, next I'll move approval for the payroll of the school, 24-47, parentheses 24. Payroll of the Aggie School, move approval of $379,049.07. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous.
We have another payroll for the school. This one is warrant number 24-47, parentheses 24.1. And this payroll for the school, we move approval for is $116,205.13. So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
Great. Okay, motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, unanimous.
All right, 2 more expenses. First, move approval for the expense for the county, 24-11B, the amount $157,886.96. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And the final one I have is move approval of 050524, the expense for the county, the amount of $38,301.21. So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous.
That concludes the warrant list, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay. Next item is item 10, report on American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Well-
With respect to,
Hold on, Joe. Do you have a question?
No, I'm all set. I just,
Okay.
okay,
Hi, Josephine.
thank you. That's all right.
Okay. ARPA, yes.
so with regard to your ARPA update, no ARPA awards this week. You will likely have quite a few next week. We're spying at least 5 right now that total $3.7 million. After next week, when you examine these particular applications, and if you approve them, you'll be over 115 million, closing in on the sweet spot of 134 million. I have made progress over the last week with 2 additional closeout plans. The commissioners may recall, we started off with Dover. Norfolk and Stoughton received closeout plans last week. This afternoon, I'm working on Needham's. That should be completed by the end of the day. As a reminder, these closeout plans act as extensions of grant agreements, which currently expire June 30th, 2024. So when they get their closeout agreement from me, it does give them an extension for them to use the grant award accordingly. So in the case of one, I believe it was Stoughton, I gave them an additional 30 days because they needed that to obligate funds against the contract. So we're otherwise extending them through the end of September, and then having another look at them in the fall as I've originally stated. So we're in good shape. We'll proceed with closeout plans and starting to let people know throughout the rest of June where they stand. My goal is to have all 28 done by the end of June, fiscal year 24.
Great.
Wow,
That's what
great,
I have right now.
outstanding.
Okay, so that tackles items 10 and 11. Do we have any questions from the commissioners?
Oh, I did have one remark, just to confirm. Clifton Larson has withdrawn the application that you deactivated last week. This was the Wallaston Recreational Facility restroom. That one's been taken off the portal. I've asked Carl to get some estimates on resurfacing the tennis courts to see if we can reuse the money in that recreational space. Sorry for that interruption.
No,
Thanks.
great. Okay.
Good.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners to the director regarding
No.
items 10 and 11?
Great.
Okay. Next item is item 12, bid openings. I don't believe we have any bid openings today. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay, moving on to 13, contract awards. No contract awards?
No, sir.
Okay, we're moving along. 14, April trial balance for acceptance.
Do we have that?
I don't have
Is that
I don't think I have that. I didn't see it in the packet.
I didn't see it in the packet
I
either.
got a letter from Tim K. though. But
I don't have it either.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, well,
We can table that, bring it back next week.
okay, we'll do that next week.
Yep.
Okay, item 15, request for civic rate at President's Golf Course for Quincy Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament. Joe, do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, well, this is an annual event. Breath, last few years, they've re-energized and they've grown, so probably gonna be a regular event for a while, and, this is a request for the charitable rate. I'll make the nomination. The actual event is next Monday, and, we've been invited to lunch if we want to go, but it's at President's, and, last few years, they've really grown it. And, I'm told they're gonna have a full tournament, which I think is 144. I could be wrong. But
Okay,
of course,
motion
we'd love to extend that race to the Quincy Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
Okay,
I'll
motion's been
take it as a
made.
motion. I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made to extend the civil rate for the Quincy Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament at President's. And it's also been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous. Next item, report of county director.
Thank you, Commissioner Collins. So the commissioner should be advised that Kearsarge has communicated to school administration that the pending barn project, which some of you may be familiar with, they're looking for an answer from the schools within 30 days, the end of June, to determine the school's interest in proceeding with that particular phase of the solar project. It is my understanding, Commissioner Stady, that Mr. Martin plans on putting it on your June agenda for
Oh, okay.
the trustees to consider. Kearsarge has been patiently waiting for some guidance and some buy-in from the schools. And at this point, it's reached sort of a perspective that they need some decision-making on whether or not the schools will invest and buy into that project. So Mr. Martin will have some materials for you during that meeting. I just want to give you a heads up. It'll be coming on your agenda for trustees in the next couple of weeks.
If my memory's right, that was a project that they brought before the trustees months ago.
Yes.
And it got pretty good support, I thought. I thought there wasn't any
I
kind of
thought so too.
Yeah, I don't look at it like we were delaying. I thought it was on their end. They were waiting. I thought they were waiting for some adjudication to take place to go forward. If I had known it was on, I didn't know it was on our side.
I
That
think
wasn't-
I think there was more to it than that. I think the bigger question was whether we had the financial means to build the
correct.
rest of the structure
Oh, okay.
because they were
That's the
okay
way I
building
understood it too.
yeah, they were okay
Okay.
with building a steel frame structure that they could put solar on top of, but we had to build the barn itself.
Okay.
And so I think that
So-
was the issue.
You're right. You're right. We'll need to know then financially, are we able to do that? And how we're going to do that? I don't know that answer right now, but
Right.
yeah. Okay. That might have been it. Okay. But I didn't see it like us saying we're not interested. Okay. All right.
What else you got done?
So commissioners, I thought I gave you a copy of the newsletter. Joe, this one will be available here when you return. The RSVP program is having its annual volunteer luncheon coming up on August 9th at the Four Points Sheridan in Norwood. Robert Pearson, who may be on a call if he wants to. Yes, Robert, if you want to weigh in and give the commissioner some insight on the expected amount of volunteers and guests that might be attending, I'll defer to you, sir.
Thank you, John, and hello, commissioners.
Hi, Robert.
Good to see you all. So August 9th is going to be our 2024 Volunteer Recognition Luncheon. It will be held at the Four Point Sheridan in Norwood. I am expecting we could have between 130 and 140 participants. We'll invite the sheriff once again with the honor guard. We will invite the full Norfolk County Advisory Board, as well as all of the Norfolk County legislators who wish to attend. We have a lot larger room to be in this year compared to at the Endicott Estate. So we're selecting gifts now, and invitations will go out next week. Hope that all three of you will be able to attend Friday, August 9th. Thank you.
Yeah.
Richard, thank you.
That's a great location, Robert. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you then.
Robert, I'm sorry, Robert, thank you. I appreciate that. Joe,
Thank
do you
you.
have any questions for Robert?
No, I was gonna suggest a gift. How about leather jackets for 140 people? Can we
Leather
afford that,
jackets?
Robert?
It'd be a tall order, but if you really want them, we'll have to ask you to find the budget for
No,
them.
no.
It has to have the
It would
county
be nice.
seal on it though, Robert.
It would be nice, but if you gave them to 140, we'd need 5,000.
We would
And we,
always,
and we, and we can't afford it.
we can't
Direct-
afford it.
We'll stick to a return of the wonderful cooler bags that people like. We
There you
haven't
go.
had
Whatever,
since
yeah.
2016.
I was an umbrella guy, but I use all of that. It's good. I bring it home and my wife uses it. The kids, take them. It's good.
We have leftover umbrellas. If you ever need,
No, I got
let us know.
Okay, Robert,
mine.
thank you. What else do we have for the
Thank
county
you.
director?
A few other items, just a
Robert.
reminder, Juneteenth.
Thank you,
this-
Robert.
Juneteenth this year, a new federal holiday. State holiday falls on a Wednesday. The commissioners have previously discussed keeping open the option to meet that week. I wanted to determine the commission's interest in doing so. Our treasurer has announced to me that he's keenly interested in knowing their schedule, as they have a very large accounts payable warrant from the schools that will have to get pushed through. So if the commissioners are intending to meet that week, but if they're thinking minimally how to meet, I would encourage a virtual meeting, maybe perhaps on the 20th, which is a Thursday, or Friday, the 21st, whatever the commissioners deem necessary. But we would need to push through at least one quick payment and keep a minimal agenda if that's desired.
I know I'm not available on the 21st.
Okay. What about the 20th?
I'm available.
20's okay.
The 30th. That's
And we-
Thursday.
Yeah,
Would you support a virtual meeting that day?
yeah. Yeah.
Commissioners?
Sure.
Definitely.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, he said yes. Okay, great. Let's do that.
Okay, so we'll do a virtual on the 20th. Great. Treasurer Bellotti called me this morning to inform me that he's bringing on an intern. You approved his papers today. Michael's making this intern available to me for a couple of days a week, at least in the beginning. One of the projects that I'm going to have him work on is this wall of books, which have a variety of different content. We're going to remove all the books, completely index them, prepare a full list of what we have duplicates of, hopefully free up some room, and to Commissioner Shea's delight, hopefully identify certain reports, annual reports and other things that can be sent out for proper binding, and overall clean up this space so that it has a more presentable and useful utility for the commissioners. So,
Did we get, excuse me, did we get the money for the binding that we had talked about before? Commissioner Shea
you
asked
have,
for
you have,
binding or something
I
like
cannot
that.
remember the amount. I think it's 1,500 in the FY24 budget for binding the annual report. Mr.
Oh.
Buckley is finishing up that right now and
But
getting.
we didn't get I thought we were looking for a more substantial amount.
No,
I thought it was
We did.
10,000, but we'll talk about that next week.
yeah, it might be
Okay,
more
okay,
supplemental, but
okay.
yeah.
If you look at the old, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, they're all bound.
Right.
I don't Phil, and I don't want to put Phil on the spot. He knows what isn't, but then they went into a loose leaf situation. I'm trying to, my goal is to get the loose leaf, get them straightened it out, get them bound, put them up on the shelf next to that, and perhaps move some of them out. Not the annual report, not the reports and stuff, but other stuff. And just general catch up, time goes by so fast. I was looking at an August of, I think it was 92 meeting, and it went into it was there. I went into the loose leaf, it was there, everything was fine. But if that book, those loose leaf pages get missing, that means, we're gone. So it's just to catch up. I know I thought if we put some funds towards it over the next couple of years and keep it like an ongoing project, we won't fall that far behind again. That's all.
That's great.
Just
Great,
kind of
great.
good records management.
Right. But it's important. No.
The last time I had was relative to a conversation I had with Commissioner Stady. If you want to take the con at this point and explain the contact with an individual interested in ARPA funding.
Right. So I ran into, and I mentioned this to Commissioner Shea briefly, our old friend Mark Flaherty, who heads up the United Way. Mark, I think, has appeared before us when COVID first broke out, and he was asking if he could get a chance to come in with his director and approach the commissioners for maybe some possible opera funding to help them out. They're doing an awful lot in terms of mental health, in terms of transportation of elderly, and of course, food, which is a primary goal of the United Way to help supplement the food banks, which are a critical need. So where we gave some money to Dedham and to another food pantry recently, I know there were some gifts that we gave through opera. I'd like to see if we just come in and talk to us and maybe make a pitch to see if we can help them a little bit as we close the window on opera.
Sure.
And Mr. Shea seems okay with it. I'll let him speak for
Yep.
himself.
Let's have them in. They're doing a great job.
Yeah,
I mean, we are participating and employees, some, I believe, but this might be an opportunity to give them a little boost. It's a certainly well-recognized,
the thing would be,
universal
I
plan.
didn't know when you wanted to bring him in because we're not meeting the third week of June. So do you want to bring him in what's the first meeting in June? What's the first Wednesday?
June 5th.
June 5th? Is that the 5th? How about the 12th? Maybe bring him in the 12th? Does that look crowded or?
No,
The 5th or the 12th is fine for me. I thought I'd be conflicted.
Yeah, I
on
want the 12th. I think he mentioned that. All right. I
Okay.
can tell him and then he can walk from. They're all right with that, Peter?
Fine.
June 12th? All right, great. That's great. Great, thank you. Much appreciated.
that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Okay, terrific. Item 17, emergency items, topics that the chair did not reasonably anticipate would be discussed. Any emergency items?
No.
Not an emergency, but we're looking forward to the graduation of our Aggie students. Very proud to be there for the students and faculty and parents. And that will be a nice ceremony. If the rain holds out, hopefully it doesn't
Tomorrow, yeah.
rain. That'll be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at the Norfolk Aggie School.
Terrific.
And that's all I had.
Congratulations to all our
Thank you,
students.
yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Shea,
Motion to
anything? No?
adjourn.
All right, moves at 1:21. He's moved to seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Want Mark to